All right, welcome back everybody. Anybody that's new here, thanks for joining me today. As you guys can see, it's pretty cloudy out this morning. I'm still kind of bright, but yeah, this is like the first cool day of the year, and I'm gonna try some topwater this morning and see if they're gonna bite. The thing is it's been a while since I fished a cold front in the middle of summer frog fishing, so we are going to experiment with that. I'm going to try and figure out if maybe there's some fish swimming in these weeds over here. And yeah, if there are, hopefully there's some of the bigger ones, because usually the frogfish on this body of water are pretty big. As far as like Wisconsin fish, they're not giants, but they're still fun. So wish me luck. Okay, like I said, I'm going to throw a frog this morning. See if there's anything willing to play. Okay, so took the frog off because I didn't even look at it this morning, but the water temps came down like frickin' 10 degrees. So this could be a very difficult day, but I'm gonna try and help you guys understand what I do when it's like that. So sudden change in water temps in the summertime can be one of two things. You either have really good bite going on or you have a really negative bite. If it's a negative bite, what I like to do is run something really slow, like these tandem spinners that have a lot of drag in the water. Make long casts and reel it really slow in. And it's dark out, so I got a black skirt, like a copper blade. It's just one of my favorites to fish with out here, but usually the reason I like fishing with this is because the water's dirty, and if it's cloudy, that's usually when I start getting fish. So I'm gonna try and fish some of these visible weed lines. This water in this lake is very shallow. Just so you guys understand, that's why the water temp drops so fast. So we will see if anything is willing to feed on the spinner. What are you? Saw that guy hit it. Well, that's one fish. Those guys are always willing to eat up these things. He was in a foot of water. That's how crazy this lake is sometimes. Let's just see how many fish we can get to go today. I was just kind of making a cast along the weed lines here so you can see these weeds, because it's only like 2 feet deep. This water's usually about 4 feet deep, but everything's slow this summer. So whatever bites, I'll be happy with today. I didn't realize that it was going to cool down that much out here. It's getting kind of windy out today. Wasn't supposed to be windy at all on the water, so I can't complain. The ripple might actually help me catch fish with it being low like it is, because being super shallow, they can see me just as well as I can see him. Like I said, I saw that northern pike. He was right in front of me. He was just following it. He T-boned it real quick, so I just kept reeling. But yeah, we'll see how today unfolds. I'm probably gonna have to go through all my different, bait choices and whatnot. But hopefully we get some big fish today. Northern pike, bass, I don't really care. Okay, so I have multiple rods set up out here for a reason. I want to be able to make some cast in some of this thick stuff. Sometimes the weeds will hold the heat from previous days, so if the water dropped in temp, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bunch of fish just packed into the weeds. Not saying they're going to come out and play every time, but at least if I'm fishing a couple weedless setups like this Texas rigged worm that I got on here, then I have a chance. That spinner I basically use to move from spot to spot. There was one in here. Oh, got off. Should have got on that guy quicker. There's one. Just wonder where you guys were. Little dude, but he was tucked up into those lily pads. I had to switch over to this frickin' super slow, I think they call it a Nico fat worm. It's from Gary Yamamoto. You guys have probably been seeing me use it too much this year, but it works really good when all they want is a finesse presentation. Swims nicely, falls nice and slow. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Decent one just sitting right there in front of me. It's a healthy fish. That guy would be freaking awesome if he was like 4 or 5 pounds. That was cool. He was literally right in those clumps of weeds right there. Gotta work really slow today. Really slow. Freaking northern pike. Ugh. So that's why that's why I normally try and get it like, so if I'm working from a weed line, I only work it out like 5-10 feet and then try to crank it in really quick, because like a 30 will come up and just snip you off. Yeah, that was fun. That is also why I buy bulk packs of these things. So this is a 25 pack, and I keep them in this thing. But yeah, you guys want to help support the channel, since I since I lose so much lures, you could pick up a couple of these. They're pretty cheap. They're linked in the description below. But yeah, I've actually come to like these things. I wish I could get them in a bigger bag, like something this big. But right now, this is all that I can make through who supplies my stuff. So this would be greatly appreciated if you pick them up. Okay, so I fished every nook and cranny in this thing. I got about 3 more bites after that northern pike bit me off. But yeah, I'm just gonna float down with the breeze here and fish all these open holes, but basically I'm just gonna fan cast until I run into fish, because there's like staggered holes, and it only makes sense to, like, well, I have a gentle breeze, use it to just drift along and fan cast across the holes. What I'm going to try to focus on is the edges, so like bringing it across the edge or along it. Usually these fish are ambush predators, but with the weather today, we will see if I can get them to go. Yeah, for now, I'm just going to throw this spinner around. There's, like I said, a bunch of holes just kind of scattered around out here. It's worth it to see if anybody's cruising the edges. I did get him. Oh. Freaking monster pike. Came back like 5 times for it. There's a fish. Another decent one. Really skinny. These guys need food out here. Hit like a ton of bricks. Little lightning rockets. So apparently the northern pike are stacked up on the weed line. Wonder where the big bass are. Might have to go pick these weeds in front of me apart here. I've been drifting along for a while today and no action out in the middle of nowhere. Although the water did clear up over here. So there's that, which is good. I'm hoping that this clear water gets me a little bit more action over here. And if you're new here, I kind of do this thing where I kind of fish up to the structure that I want to fish. So there's like the weeds out in front of me, and I want to fish all this open water around in front of them, because sometimes the structure is just like I think of it as like a place to start. So like I want to go over there and fish that with my worm and like pick it apart and everything like that. But I always try to make a little bit of commotion out in front, because sometimes the fish are just chilling out in the deepest water by the structure. So there's your tip for the day, is just make sure you pick apart before you just go busting into spots. A lot of times you'll run over fish not realizing it. Okay, that's enough picking it apart. Let's see if anything's sitting on these weeds. Spacing out. Fish swimming away with my lure. Must have landed on him. Spunky little dude. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was just like tugging on my arm. Well, that's a good one. that might be a 4-pounder in the summer. Okay, so I think this is the biggest bass I've caught this year, and possibly in the last couple years. If it was pre-spawn, it would probably be a giant, but I got the scale out anyways because she's big. Mind you, this is Wisconsin. We don't grow Texas bass here. They're really slow growing. That is a beast of a summer bass. And I'm gonna say it goes over, let's see. Yeah, she's 19 inches long. That is a giant. I'm gonna weigh it really quick here. 317. Granted, this is middle of summer. She'd probably be a 4 all day long. So let's get her back. I definitely need more of that in my life. So that thing was on that little weed patch over there, just on the deep side. So this lake is way down. It's like 3 feet down, and I found a shelf right along those weeds. That like right along this shelf, it drops straight down to 4 feet, which I'm gonna guess normally is probably like 6-7 feet, because I think it's like 3 feet shallow right now. So I'm gonna go back and pick that apart and see if that's the only big fish on there. Otherwise, I think I have an idea of where to look for some other big ones, so stay tuned. I think the best part is that went on this nice rod, my new rod and reel setup. So this is a new Daiwa Tatula CT. It's like a 100 something series or whatever. It's an 8.1. I'm not barely using the 8.1 for anything, but I got a 20-pound leader, 30-pound braid, and then I'm just fishing that new Daiwa. I think it's the Nico Fat. It's a 5-inch on a 4/0 Gamakatsu wide gap, or I think that's the EWG. Yeah, the Superline. I'll list everything below. I always do. You guys know that if you've been around. If you're new here, subscribe if you like catching fish. That's what I do here. I try to catch fish. But yeah, that one was really fun. I'd like to get half dozen of those and I'd be a really happy person. I had a really miserable morning today and didn't get very much sleep last night, so anything after that is a bonus right now. Landed on one again. I'll take all the gimme fish I can get. Need one of those bigger ones to be healthy like the little guys are. Landed on one. You just landed on a decent one. This dude was just sitting in this grass patch right here. Seems like the guys that are away from the weeds are actually a little healthier. I mean, he's still skinny, but that's, I mean, typical summer. But yeah, he's sitting right in these things. That was cool. Make a random cast, catch fish. So that's like 5 decent bass today. And then I think I got 2 northerns. Or I got bit off by one and then caught one smaller one. I also had a couple giants follow and miss or whatever, but I'm okay with that. Just want to catch some good fish today, and the bass are playing nice, so thumbs up for fish that play nice with me. guy was just swimming with it. I think that's like 7 for the day. Not bad. I wish they were all 3 to 5 pounders, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, especially in the state of Wisconsin. I have to emphasize that. So if you guys are watching this, our state record, I believe, is like 8 pounds or something like that. It's not very big. I have personally seen a 7-pound bass in this state, so I know they're here. I didn't catch it, but the thing is they're usually really heavy in the spring and in the fall. So like that 19 I got could have been like a 6.5 or something, if it was really good and healthy and it was pre-spawn, or if it was in the fall feeding up for winter. But yeah, not looking to see if we can get any 10s today, but I mean, if I could get a 4.5 right now, I would just assume that it was a 5 at one point, and that's awesome. But yeah, gonna pick apart the rest of these weeds over here. I'm just kind of working my way down the lake right now. Okay, so I just went through that entire maze and made 1,000,000 casts, which you will not see. And yeah, that was a waste of time, basically. I guess it's not a waste of time in the sense that I'm glad that I checked it, because I could see some deep pockets and I wanted to see if there's any fish in them, but no dice. So I was going to leave, but I think I'm gonna go make some casts at some piers real quick and see if there's anything hiding. It's right around 1 o'clock right now, so the sun's right overhead. Anytime it's like that, you can generally, if you're paying attention, you can generally get lucky and get a couple fish off of some piers. Not necessarily giant ones, but sometimes you get lucky and the really big ones move in to feed on some bait fish. So come with me, and yeah, let's go see if we get a couple more monsters. That 19 is going to be hard to beat because they don't get much bigger than that in here. I think the biggest one I ever caught out of here was 21, and that was like 7 years ago. So let's see if we can beat it. I don't know what it is about piers, but these guys are drawn to them like a magnet. I mean, he's not a giant, but I missed one earlier that was definitely bigger than that. Okay, guys, I don't know. I think you're gonna probably see that last decent bass that I got off the pier down the way over there. I was way down there. But yeah, I've been cruising along like crazy and haven't had any other opportunities. So yeah, I think I'm burned out the piers for now. I'm gonna have to go. Comment below, should I go check out some of these bigger bass bodies of water? I've been wanting to go to them, but it's one of those things, like if I go to a body of water and I catch fish and that video doesn't do very well, it's very expensive. It gets very expensive. So yeah, comment below if you guys want to see that. I got some big northern lakes and some musky lakes and rivers that I want to hit up too. So stay tuned for those videos. If you guys like river videos, comment below. I'm gonna go try to get on some soon here. Probably gonna have to be some big rivers because all the little ones are basically dry. So keep your fingers crossed we get more rain this year. But yeah, see you guys next time.